Hey, so reading out of John 11, this is about Lazarus. He died at Bethany. Now, a man was sick, Lazarus, from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. Mary was the one who anointed the Lord with perfume and wiped his feet with her hair. And it was her brother Lazarus who was sick. So the sisters sent a message to him, Lord, the one you love is sick. When Jesus heard it, he said, This sickness will not end in death, but is for the glory of God, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it. Now Jesus loved Martha, her sister, and Lazarus. So when he heard that he was sick, he stayed 2 more days in the place where he was. Then after that, he said to the disciples, Let's go to Judea again. Rabbi, the disciples told him, just now the Jews tried to stone you, and you wanting to go there again? Jesus said, If anyone walks during the day, he doesn't stumble because he sees the light of this world. But if anyone walks during the night, he does stumble because the light is not in him. He said this and then told them, Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I'm on my way to wake him up. Then the disciples said to him, Lord, if he has fallen asleep, he will get well. Jesus, however, was speaking about his death, but they thought he was speaking about natural sleep. So Jesus deemed death as sleeping. And I found that so interesting. When you go back in the passage and you see verse 5, it says, Now Jesus loved Martha, her sister, and Lazarus. Next sentence, or next verse, so when he heard that he was sick, he stayed 2 more days. Anyone would read that and think, well, the verse before said Jesus loved them, so then why would he stay 2 more days? Why would he stay 2 more days? You know, and I love what Tony Evans said down here. He said, his delay appeared to contradict his promise of healing. However, it was because he loved them that he delayed his arrival. How often have we been praying for something in our life or praying for God to fulfill a specific area, and we bring that request to him because that's what Scripture says, bring your requests to him. Ask and you shall receive, and so whenever we bring these things, if they're good for us and if there's something, if it's something that's good for us, then, we expect a return, or we believe that God will do what he said he would do. But what happens in the delay? What happens whenever something looks dead in the natural, when something looks so lifeless? God is such a good father, and I've recognized in my walk with Christ that I've had to learn that he is good even in those moments, because I'm human. And so there have been times in the past where when my faith was a little shaky, I would really be like, is he still good? Well, just because we aren't seeing the outcome we want to see, that doesn't alter his goodness. What we're seeing in front of us doesn't change who he is. Now, we may change, we may back up, we may make choices or make decisions that are not probably the best choices for us, but it never alters his goodness. Just because there's a delay doesn't mean he's any less good. And so I just wanted to share with you the time for resurrection. There's a time for resurrection in those places that look lost, or not lost, but those places that look dead, those places that look lifeless, those places that look barren. There is a time for resurrection. But we also have to pray into those things and believe that God will do what he said he would do. We have to have faith with works in those processes and know that he's going to come through for us in whatever way that's best for us too. So it may not always look the way we want it to look. It may not always seem the way we thought it would seem. It may not always come in the time we thought it would. But just because there's a delay, that doesn't mean he's any less good.